What's up, DK?
Not much, Brodes. I haven't gotten to host with you in so long, so I'm excited to be here.
Well, that's fantastic.
Honored.
You stopped me in my tracks. I didn't know where you were going to go there.
What do you think I was going to say?
I have no idea. Maybe I hate working with you. 215-592-9494. I don't know if that's how you were going to open up the show.
No, never.
Well, that's good. I'm
Never.
glad. We got Louis Coco behind the glass. What's up, Louis? How you feeling? You got the Fly Guy shirt on.
Yeah, man. Had to represent. Come on, I got my boy Michkov.
Oh, he's
Let's
got
go.
the Michkov shirt on.
Let's go, baby.
Woo! Let's go, Flyers! Okay.
Da, da, da,
All right, we're done. All right, I'm sorry. I got a little emotional. I got a little excited. Let's get back on track.
But I'm excited. Am I finally with a producer and a co-host who aren't going to flame me for putting Michkov on my top 11 Philly
100%.
athletes?
It's a great selection, but
No.
Zach Wheeler was way too low on your list.
No.
Zach Wheeler
Come
was way
on.
too low. What'd you have him at, 9?
He's at 10.
That's disgusting.
10?
That's disgusting.
Where'd you have Michkov?
like 9.
Well, I had him at 10.
I think I had him at 9.
Very reasonable, but you screwed Zach Wheeler. Anyway.
That's tough.
It is very tough. Let's pretend that 2 minutes didn't happen. Welcome
Sorry.
on into the afternoon show. It's Brodes and Devin Caney with you. All right, we are going to start today's show with the Washington Commanders and your Philadelphia Eagles because the Commanders are working on Von Miller and making more moves because they want to try and close the gap. Well, I got to be honest with everyone. I don't respect the Commanders at all. It's so hard to do it year after year after year. They're dealing with Terry McLaurin and that contract dispute. And I don't know if their environment is strong enough to work through that type of adversity. And I've seen C.J. Stroud, who I think is a very good quarterback, go through a sophomore slump. And if you say, well, maybe some skill position guys were injured and that played a role, well, that happens. And you got to be able to manage that and perform without it. And it's a very difficult thing to do. And I don't think the Commanders are some sharp, great organization that I now have to fully believe in to take over the NFC East crown. And quite frankly, one thing that pisses me off the more and more I think about it is we keep saying they were in the NFC Championship game, giving them respect. They lost by 8,000. They weren't even close. So, Devin, I'm just telling you, I don't respect the Commanders. I think the Eagles are going to kick ass as they always do. And they're not close. The Commanders are not close. They got blown out. They're not close to the Eagles. Your thoughts?
So you're gonna make me have to defend the Commanders, and I don't want to defend them because I agree. The Eagles beat them by 5 million in the NFC Championship game, and it was amazing. And I do think that far too many people, especially here in Philadelphia, give Jaden Daniels far too much respect, like ranking him above Jalen Hurts on lists, and I hate that, and I don't support that. That being said, they're in division. They even without Jaden Daniels and the previous years, even when they had what was his name, Taylor Heineke or whatever, they gave the Eagles their first loss in the 2022 season when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. Like, they're in division, so they're always going to give the Eagles some trouble. But that being said, I think you can say the same for the Cowboys and Giants. Like, any NFC East opponent is going to be a tough opponent. I'm not scared of the Commanders in any way. Like, them adding Von Miller doesn't really do much for me. They already have like a top, or I guess I should say bottom 5 oldest roster in the NFL, and he just made it older. Like, he was drafted in 2011? I don't even know how old he is at this point. They got Deebo Samuels. Oh, wow. I'm really freaked out by that.
He doesn't scare me
how are we
a
going
lick.
to stop him?
Yep.
That being said, Eagles have a tough schedule. They have a really tough schedule, and they don't play the Commanders until deep into the season. Lots of things can change. I'm just not ready to write off the Washington Commanders yet.
Oh, I am, because the Eagles are that great. I'm just being honest with you. It has nothing to do with the Commanders. The Commanders could try and do everything they want, but it's not going to stop me from believing that much in what this Eagles franchise is. So they could try to make cute moves and shore up their offensive line and whatever they want to try and do. But it is never going to be better than what Jalen Hurts and this offensive line and what Vic Fangio has to offer for this upcoming campaign. And that's another thing the Commanders have to deal with is the knowledge from all these other coordinators on what was effective last season for Jaden Daniels. Now there's a whole offseason of going to the tape and studying what was working. Remember, Jalen Hurts couldn't go to his left. Todd Bowles put it on tape. Then Jalen Hurts had to effectively get better at that skill set. Jaden Daniels is going to have to do the same thing. And I don't know if he's just going to automatically step on this field and be this dynamic weapon that everybody feels he's going to be. I don't feel that confident when looking at Jaden Daniels thinking that's that guy.
I also think you have to look back at last season with the Commanders because, yes, they improved. So the previous year in 2023, the Commanders only won 4 games. And I think that recency bias is certainly at play here. I also think recency bias is at play, Brodes, respectfully, with your overconfidence.
No such thing.
The Eagles won the Super Bowl. They're a great team. Like, can't debate that. And they didn't lose too many pieces. I think they're still going to be a really good team. Their schedule freaks me out a little bit. That being said, Commanders also have a fairly tough schedule. The Commanders jumped to what? They won 12 games in 2024. That's a massive leap, going from 4 wins to 12 wins. I just don't think that that's sustainable. And you look at a lot of their wins last season, it was luck, right? It was luck when they played the Bears. Remember that Hail Mary, which, by the way, if I was a Bears fan, I would simply never recover from that. I would still have PTSD from that, maybe for the rest of my life. They got away with a lot of wins. So I don't know if they're, going to be this great, ominous team. They're a team that you have to take seriously, though. Like, I don't want the Eagles and Eagles fans to take on the mindset of, well, we won the Super Bowl, so whatever. We're just going to roll over the Cowboys. We're going to roll over the Commanders. We're going to roll over the Giants. When you have to look around and, do I think that the Commanders got exponentially better? No. I think, honestly, if you look at the NFC East, the Giants probably made the most impactful additions. I don't think the Giants are going to be a good team, but, they'll probably be less of a joke than they have been. But the Commanders still added talent, albeit older talent in Von Miller, Deebo Samuel, Tunsil, list goes on. So could they be a better team than the 12 wins last year? Maybe. They're a team that you have to take seriously and you have to prepare for accordingly. I just don't want the Eagles to write them off like, oh, whatever. They're a joke. We beat them by 500 in the NFC Championship game. Doesn't matter. We're going to do it again.
They won't do that. I will. There's a big difference. Jalen Hurts isn't going to attack it the way I attack. I attack it like they're bums. Get them out of my face. They're not even close to the Eagles. But that's not how Sirianni's going to attack their business. So don't worry about them. They'll do what they need to do. I'm just telling you how I feel. I look at the Commanders and I say, go scratch. Get out of my face.
You're setting yourself up for heartbreak.
No. See, I don't have heartbreak when it comes to this Eagles squad under Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Because all I get is winning football. Let's take a listen to Austin Eckler, okay? Because he was discussing the difference between the Eagles and Commanders, and this is what he had to say in June.
Last year, there was a gap because they won the Super Bowl between them and everybody, but I don't think there is no gap. There's no gaps right now. The gap is neutral because, and here's why I say that. Look at our team last year. Look at the Washington Commanders at the very beginning of the season. Everyone would say there's a massive gap between the Commanders and this team. Well, you look back on the season, you're like, oh, maybe there wasn't. They were actually pretty good. So this gap talk, what do you mean? We could go out there and win 0 games. We could win 17 games, so we don't know. It's a fresh, new, clean slate.
I got nothing for you on that. Just a bunch of BS. What did you get out of that? Because you clearly, I think, got sucked right into what he was saying.
No.
You're going, wow, Austin Eckler's a genius.
You're setting me up for failure here because, I feel like you're putting me in position to support the Commanders, and I don't like it.
You respect them more than I do.
I think what Austin Eckler just said is absurd, though. And what it immediately reminded me of, not to drag another WIP host, was Joe DeCamara last week started saying that the Eagles they're not champions anymore because, essentially he's saying, once you hit the next season, you're not champion. As far as I'm concerned, the Eagles are Super Bowl champions until there's a new Super Bowl champion, and hopefully it's the Eagles again. They're reigning champions, and I think someone needs to tell Austin Eckler that, because the way he's looking at it is, slate, whatever he said, clean slate, we're on even playing fields now. And I just don't think that's the case. When you're the reigning champions, it almost puts you in a disadvantage because everyone wants to take you down. even more because you can say you took down the reigning champion Super Bowl.
And I like that you said that because I agree that it puts a target on your back. But I think the Eagles have the ability to work through the target on their back while the Commanders, they have to prove to me they know how. And I know they're not champions, but they did get to the NFC title game. So teams will look at the Commanders now differently, and they need to know how to win as an NFC title type of team. And I don't think that franchise has ever sold me in my lifetime sustainable winning enough for me to go, that's right. It's the Commander.
Yeah, sustainable winning. No, like what?
They'll be okay.
What were your thoughts and opinions on the Commanders going into the NFC Championship game when they beat the Lions?
Yeah.
And we all thought that the Eagles were going to be traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions in that game. Mm-hmm. When the Commanders beat the Lions and we're coming here, how were you feeling the week leading up to that game?
Ass kicking.
Were you?
Ass kicking.
Okay.
Ass kicking. That's what I thought.
How were you feeling the week after they beat the Eagles when Jalen Hurts went out with a concussion?
It took our backup quarterback having to go in. You don't win when our quarterback's in. Our quarterback is a winner. That's what he does.
At no point last season were you like, oh, the Commanders are...
No! I got the best football team on planet Earth!
But you didn't know that last season.
No, I knew. I smelled it a mile away. I mean, are you kidding me? I walk into this studio and I go, that smells like an Eagles victory. And then I sit here and I tell you how I feel. 215-592-9494. Okay, here's our question. As Devin is outrageously a Commanders fan today.
No, I'm not. You know what? The last time I don't think we've hosted together since like around Christmas time last year. And I think it was then when you tried to paint me as a Cowboys fan. You're just setting me up for failure here, Brodes.
Well,
I am neither.
Here's the thing. At that particular time, my guess was you were upset and thought maybe the Cowboys could win, and I was probably screaming my head off saying the Eagles are going to go dominate.
I don't remember exactly what was happening. I never said that the Cowboys were going to win, though, especially last season.
True.
I will say that.
You're right. I guess you're probably right. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Shy in Cherry Hill. What's up, Shy?
What's going on, Devin? What's going on, Brodes?
How are we feeling?
Good. First of all, congratulations on another kid.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yep. Second of all, rest in peace, Brian Brandon. Terrible loss.
Yes, that was very heartbreaking.
Not the news you want to wake up to.
No.
But I digress. Anyways, on the Commanders, yes, they're a good team, but they're old. They got a great quarterback. I don't necessarily think that matters. Personally, I feel like we won 2 last year because if Jalen Hurts would have played, it would have been just dominant. Kenny Pickett, not really his fault, did what he could. But I really don't think they're that good of a team. I mean, I think we're just a much better team than they are. Running the ball, defensively, passing, I don't really think it makes a difference this year. And they signed Bobby Wagner last year. That obviously didn't matter. And they go out and sign Von Miller, who, is much better than Bobby Wagner, but it's not really, like I said, going to make any much of a difference this year.
Yeah, I look at them, Shy, as a team that got hot, and that's good for them. They rode the momentum, but just because they got to the NFC title game, it doesn't mean I look at them as a consistent threat year in and year out. I think they had a nice opportunity, and then they ran up against a team that was just significantly better than them, and their magic ran out. But I don't think that they're a team that's going to consistently have magic year in, year out, over and over and over again, the way the Eagles do. So with that, good luck.
But we got to focus on 1 year at a time. We can't focus on the years after this. There's one season coming up. There's multiple, obviously, but we got to think on this season. They went to the NFC Championship game. They were a 4-win team. Now they were a 12-win team. Yes, we dominated them, but this is our biggest threat of the season. You play them twice a year. No other team is really in our division competent. So they're definitely my biggest worry, but I'm not really worried, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Now, I got 2 things to bite on what he said. I'll jot them down so I don't forget. My brain is all out of whack.
Understandable.
Yeah. One is the Commanders in the NFC title game. Let me ask you this. Do you think last year the Commanders or Rams were a better team facing the Birds? Not just
do you
based
mean,
off
like,
a
in
result.
the game?
No,
or?
not just based off a result. Because obviously one game was close in the snow.
Yeah.
The other game was a blowout in the playoffs. But just if you had to look at the Rams and the Commanders last year, do you see a big difference between those two teams? Do you think they're on the even playing field? Do you think the Commanders are one up from the Rams? How would you list Eagles, Rams, Commanders last year not knowing the results? You'd probably say Eagles won.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so how would you list the other two teams?
I mean, if I didn't know their records at all, I would probably put Rams ahead of Commanders.
That's what I'm
Because
trying
they
to
have
get
Matthew
at
Stafford,
here.
they have Puka Nacua, they have Cooper Kupp, Jared Burris.
That's what I'm kind of getting at here, which is we talk about the Commanders, I think, because on where the season ended. But if you really did a test on who they are and where they fall and their real rankings of talent, I don't think it's even close to an NFC title game. And when they were in the NFC title game, they did lose by 1,000 points. So no one gets beat like that in an NFC title game. Not like that. A blowout in an NFC title game is 14 points.
Yeah.
This thing was an obliteration and you're decapitating their heads off their body type of stuff. So they're not close. And knowing they're not close, I put my feet up. Give me a little Hugh Douglas gummy. You know what I'm saying? Give me a little Hugh Douglas gummy.
Plug.
I'm just saying. Shout out my guy, Hugh.
He's probably doing that right now.
Yeah, probably.
Enjoying his
probably
time
lucky man.
I mean, no. So I don't disagree with what you're saying at all. I think the word magic was thrown around. I think that, that's one way to put luck, and that's what the Commanders had for the majority of the season. The only reason they made it to the NFC Championship game was because the Lions' defense was completely decimated by that time. And I thought the Lions were certainly going to win that game. I think most people did. And thankfully it made for like a glorious crushing of the Commanders. But I'm just saying I don't think that they can be written off, especially, what if the season comes down to these two teams and they play each other twice in the final 3 weeks of the season, kind of vying for that top spot in order to advance to the postseason for home field advantage.
Lovely.
That makes, if I had to choose a team within the division to face in the final twice in the final 3 weeks of the season, it would definitely not be the Commanders. I would choose, Giants probably.
Think of this though. See, you're thinking of the negative. That's a tough matchup in your mind. I go, what if you handle business both times, win by 20 both times? Now you're rolling into the postseason with that type of energy. Where's that in the hypothetical?
I mean, I guess that's pretty good.
That's pretty damn good.
Or what if you already win enough games and they lose enough that those two games don't even matter?
There you go. Feed up Hugh Douglas.
Even better.
Feed up Hugh Douglas.
Even better.
215-592-9494. How do you view the Eagles-Commanders gap? And we can also throw around the division, because another thing that was mentioned in Shai's call is the Cowboys, and maybe they're not being competent in the division. Well, Dak Prescott, say what you will about him in the playoffs. They do lose all the time in the playoffs, but they do win a lot of regular season games in the regular season, excuse me. So maybe there's something to the Cowboys having regular season success if they're healthier than they were last year, which I'd imagine they will be. But we can chew on that as well. Let's go to OG Wade. What's up, OG?
What's up? How we doing today?
Fantastic. How are you?
You got Dev in the house today. You living up a dream in there, man. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, listen, I like the topic. I would say this here. I look at the Commanders as a team because when teams go out and they sign older players like they doing, that's a team that's like basically trying to compete and belong. When you got a team like the Eagles with the status that we are in terms of, we all know the Eagles are the best team in the league right now. There's no way Howie Roseman is going out and signing a guy over 30 and over. You know what I'm saying? He's just not doing it. So for the people that think that they bringing justice in, it ain't happening. None of that's going to happen because Howie is now taking pride in the fact that we got one of the youngest teams in the league and we're the best. So when you look at both teams, I think that the Commanders are the better team in our division than any of the other guys. But I think that what we have to stop doing is that anytime we see that we have a tough game or a tough schedule, that we don't give the Eagles the benefit of that doubt. You almost just like chalk that, okay, we're going to chalk this up as a loss because the Eagles got a tough schedule. Show me a game that we had that was a tough team that we didn't win.
Right. No,
So
you're
I
right.
think that we earned the right to give the Eagles credit for being able to go up and play a tough schedule and still come out on top. I can't say the same for the Commanders. They just too long in the tooth, man. Way too long in the tooth.
I agree. OG, thank you for the call. I keep reflecting back to, and I hear your point, DK, and we'll definitely get into it more throughout the show of how hard the schedule is and all. But every team that has sustained success goes through winning the division, and when you win the division, your schedule the next year is difficult. But when you win those games, and we looked at a gauntlet, right? And, it's going to be so tough. And, well, then they win the first 4 games. Yeah, but they beat Baltimore on the road after having to go to the West Coast to play the L.A. Rams, and it's, how are you going to go from the West Coast to the Rams to Baltimore and play that team? And it's a win. And I think we overdo the schedule because you got to think the other guys who are going through W's and L's on their roster and they see, the Philadelphia Eagles are coming to town. They write L on their list. So we go, they're going on the road and losing because it's a tough gauntlet. Yet those teams are doing their W's and L's, and they're going, this is going to be tough. Philadelphia's coming to town. That's probably an L. And
no, but
right.
Exactly. They're circling the Eagles. They're saying that's going to be tough. They're not saying it's an L. They're saying, well, we need to get up for that game because those are the reigning Super Bowl champs. And look, I'm saying, benefit of the doubt, I'm taking last season, and it was amazing, and it's so fun and incredible, and they went and they won and they beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I'm not taking anything away from that, but I'm taking that season and putting it aside and saying, look at the last 2 seasons immediately after the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. Didn't necessarily win it, but 2018 they did. What happened the next season? 2022 they went to the Super Bowl. They lost it. Look at what happened the immediate following season. So benefit of the doubt, I haven't been given any evidence to show that I should believe that this team can go out and remain consistently elite as they were this past season, especially with a schedule that they have coming up. That's all I'm saying. I'm just, I guess, preparing myself for the worst.
That's what I think you're doing.
Hoping for the best.
This is a defensive mechanism.
It is.
Yes,
it is. If I want to psychoanalyze myself, that is exactly what I'm doing.
Well, I know it is because you even said to me, you're setting yourself up for heartbreak. There's no heartbreak in this, baby.
Well, that way when they win, it's even better.
No, I disagree. See, I put my hand in the dirt and say, let's go, boys. Here we go. Big game, baby. 1 o'clock. Let's go kick ass. That's what I do. I can't do the, all right, well, if they lose, I think I'll be okay. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong. By no means. Everybody handles it each way.
I never say, if they lose, I think I'll be okay. That is never the mindset.
I'm just saying, there's no right or wrong way to head into a football game. I'm just saying I'm more, surprisingly, on the obnoxious side. And that's the way that I handle
shocking.
it. I know, it's
Someone
very
like
insane. But I can see as we talk through this, you don't like to leave the heart open. You keep the heart closed.
Yes.
But even for the football team that wins, it is a little bit of a therapy session.
Tissues.
Well, I'm not going to make you cry. If anything, I'm going to make you feel better because this football team is incredible, and you got to get behind them. All right, 215-592-9494. That's where we get started. That was an emotional journey.
It was.
And we have 3.5 hours to go. I mean, this puppy's just getting started. How do you feel about the Eagles and Commanders, the gap between the two? I think the gap is large. The largest gap on planet Earth. That's how large of a gap it is. But I don't know if everybody agrees. 215-592-9494. Coming up next, your phone calls, and you will hear from some national media on the difference between the Eagles and Commanders. You're not going to want to miss it. It's Brodes and Devin Caney in for the afternoon show on 94 WIP. I don't respect the Commanders a lick. Devin Caney does a little bit more than me. I think that's the way to put it, right?
I think it's the way to put it, and I think it's... I don't even like the word respect.
Well, that's why I chose it.
I think that I feel the same way about the rest of the division when it comes to Eagles opponents, right? Like the NFC East, I think we tend to do this thing where it's like if a team is either good or bad, like the Cowboys, we're immediately counting them out like they're going to be terrible again when, they're going to have Micah Parsons. They're going to have a lot of the guys. Dak Prescott, I know he's not an elite quarterback, but he's still better than what they were rolling out there for most of the season last year. So I'm not saying that the Cowboys are going to go to the Super Bowl, but I am saying, as Eagles fans, we shouldn't just completely count these teams out. And that's how I feel about the Commanders as well. Like the Giants, yeah, fair enough. Like I guess you can immediately count them out, but they did improve. They do have Malik Neighbors again, who's been really good. And now they have, I don't know who their starting quarterback will be this year. I guess
That's
Russell Wilson.
That's a problem.
Yeah, either way. I'm saying just like these teams, we have to face them twice a year. It's hard to face a team twice a year, let alone 3 times a year if you face them in the postseason. Can't count any of the divisional teams out.
So I like the way you're phrasing this right now with not counting them out, because there's different layers of counting a team out. I count them out to be a legitimate NFC title, an NFC championship type of team. I count them out in that regard. Do I count them out to be a competitive NFC East opponent, a competitive 10, 11, 12-win team? Maybe they could be that. But I don't think
you're
they're
talking
on
about the Commanders.
Yeah, the
specifically.
Commander. Listen, I don't think it's crazy to think a healthier Cowboys team can win 11 games and go 11-6.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ludicrous.
I mean, they won the division, 2 years ago?
They win regular season games when Dak is healthy. So I'm not ruling them out to being a regular season competitive football team where they're not a dumpster fire, but I count them out in regards to like a real NFC champion. You know what I mean? Like a real NFC champion. There is a difference.
Well, clearly.
I know.
And I think
said
we
I saw
learned
it last
that
year.
in the NFC Championship.
But that's my
last
point.
year.
That's why I look at the Commanders and give them the double bird. Get out of my face.
So your point is
Flip 'em
all
off.
the Commanders' offseason, not all of them because there haven't been too many, but their offseason moves, adding Von Miller, whatever Terry McLaurin decides to do, Deebo Samuel, like that doesn't worry you. You're fine.
No, Deebo Samuel. That guy runs slower than me.
He does.
Runs slower than me.
He's looking a little thick.
He put some pounds on. I'm going the other way. This guy's beefing up.
Looking a little thick.
Looking a little thick. Terry McLaurin. What wants $30 million? Yeah, well, guess what? Joshua Harris goes, I paid in bead. I don't got money for you. So now they're dealing with one of their number one wide receivers having a hissy fit nonstop. I don't think they have the personalities in that place to fix it all.
Whoa, what about Jaden Daniels?
What about him?
What about him?
What about him?
What about him?
What about him? He's fine.
You don't think he's
fine.
okay?
I got Vic Fangio.
True.
I like him.
True.
Yeah, I like him. I like Jalen Carter.
Say Terry McLaurin figures out his contract. He plays, looking at their receivers, looking at their money. Who is stopping? Like, we have Cooper DeJean, we have Quinyon Mitchell. Lost Darius Slay.
Zach Bond.
But he's not a corner.
Well, I don't need him for a corner.
linebacker.
Yeah, that's right. He's going to be damn good.
Okay.
Jalen Carter.
What about safety?
Jordan Davis. Peloton Davis. Lost some weight, ready to get after the quarterback.
I love
So
Peloton
we got Peloton Davis.
I want to talk to him about Peloton, by the way.
What if Ringo is a stud?
But what if he's not?
Then we have someone who can hold the fort down in DeJean who could play on the outside.
But there's only so many players.
But then Howie Roseman does Howie Roseman thing. Why are you doubting my football team? You're making me very uncomfortable. Let's get to the Twitter poll brought to you by Mark's Jewelers. For extraordinary diamonds and customer service, visit Mark's in Montgomeryville and Mount Laurel. Experience the difference at marks-jewelers.com. Okay, so I put this up about 5 minutes ago. Very creative poll. Do you respect the Commanders?
No.
So far, and I am baffled by the response, 65% of the voters say no. I'm stunned. 35% say yes, they respect the Commanders. I did not see
you
this
thought
coming.
it would be, so you thought most people would disagree with you and agree with me?
Personally, I do think Eagles fans, and I use the word respect for a reason, because you said you didn't like it, because it is an uncomfortable word.
Yeah. I don't enjoy saying it.
Right, exactly.
You know?
But I would imagine most fans would say they respect the Commanders. That doesn't mean they don't think the Eagles are better, but I would imagine most fans would respect them. I guess, those people are smart because they see it the way I see it. See what I'm saying? Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Doug in Pennsauken. What's up, Doug?
What's up, Brodes?
How we feeling?
I'm feeling good. Listen, all right, anybody that has any doubt at all, just watch the Super Bowl again, okay? Look at the face on Jalen Hurts and his disappointment when Sirianni pulled him. He wanted to run that score up further, and he had the dead eyes look of if he dies to the Chiefs. He is just a total another level, man. Never doubt him.
Doug, you're preaching to the choir here. I don't doubt anybody that's wearing the green this year. Kidding me?
Exactly. That's why it doesn't matter who we gain or who we lose. You know what? Everybody just doubts him. He uses it as fuel for the fire, and he's going to surprise a lot of people this year. Because I'm tired of seeing Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, above him. Like these guys, fold in the playoffs. I mean, I get it. They had to run to the Chiefs, so there's that. But
that shouldn't stop them. In a 5-year window, you can't beat the Chiefs one time? I mean, come on now. I don't believe that the Josh Allens of the world with that Buffalo Bills team can't overcome the Kansas City Chiefs one time in the playoffs. Although here's Jalen battling him twice and winning the battle both times, in my opinion. Even though technically it was once, but he outdoing him twice. Yeah.
Exactly. It should be 2 rings right now, but you know what?
2
It just
rings.
gives him more fuel to win another one.
That's
so
right.
Yep.
That's right, Doug.
And I'll tell you right now. So on the flip side, the Flyers, man, I don't know. Because, I've been trying to call you for a while, but I've been busy doing stuff. And I've been doing a lot of motorcycle riding just to calm myself down because going into this hockey season, man, it feels like more business as usual. And the draft, I'm kind of frustrated by it, but, because I'm getting told, it's patience. No, I am done being patient with this hockey team. I want to see a Stanley Cup before I die. It's not too much to ask for because the Eagles have won the Super Bowl twice with 2 different rosters, So it can be done.
You're right.
And that's the new gold standard right now. We've been spoiled by Howie Roseman, and the Flyers just seem to constantly have this whole mentality of, we'll get it next year,
Doug, I'm with you. Your dog agrees, too. Thank you for the call. That's such a corny
Shout out.
dad sports talk joke,
That's
isn't it?
okay.
That
Shout
was
out to the
terrible.
dog.
That was terrible.
You got 2 kids now.
I know, but I said your dog agrees when he's barking in the background. God, I'm so disappointed in myself. That joke absolutely
No,
sucks.
it had to be acknowledged.
No, it didn't.
The dog
Not
clearly
like
agreed.
that.
Look, I'll
I'm
agree.
so mad at myself.
I'll agree, even if I'm not barking in the background.
No.
I know that we don't talk. You talk Flyers a lot, but just one thing on the Flyers because he touched on it and something that is really frustrating. Like, just I don't even want to say from the outside because I'm a Philadelphia, sports fan. I cover the teams. We don't talk about the Flyers a lot, so I do feel like I'm a bit on the outside. Like, they're asking a lot of fans at this point. Like, it's quite a lot of patience. Like, we're in, year 15 of what was supposed to be a 5-year rebuild, and then they're still asking for more time. And at what point is this actually going to happen? It's like...
to the choir. I know.
It's really... I have a respect for people like you, Brodes, who stay, excited about the Flyers, because I won't even let myself get overly excited about them until
it's because we're going through
see a little bit more.
We're going through therapy right now. It's just your defensive mechanism again.
Yeah,
not allowing for you to open up to the
But maybe
Fly
that's
guys.
why I had Michkov on my top 11, because I'm like, he represents a beacon of hope, of light.
Listen, I do think it's fair to be upset with this timeline, and there was different regime changes and all that, but here's my biggest problem with this offseason is they are horrible, and I mean horrible, in between the pipes again. Yes, just flat out yes. They're bad in goalie again. Let's go back to the phones. Aaron in PA. What's up, Aaron?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How we feeling?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Good. We're doing well.
All right, hey, just a quick thing on the Eagles, and I have one point on the Flyers, if that's okay.
That's definitely okay.
I think I agree with Devin with saying the schedule. I think the schedule will pull back some wins. I don't see 14 wins for them, but I do see them winning the division. In my lifetime, have never seen the Commanders win 2 years in a row. I've never seen them have 2 good seasons. Like, as good as Jaden Daniels is, I have no idea if he's RG3 until after this season. He had a good year, but so did RG3. And now you're starting to have some of this fighting internally about McLaurin, which they need McLaurin to succeed there. I think Dallas with Dak. Now, I'm not Cowboy Jim Dallas because that guy's nuts. But what I'm saying is Dallas, I think, with a healthy Dak and that roster, they'll win 11, 12 games. So I think they finish second in that division.
I agree with you, Aaron. I actually think if I was going to lay it out now, the Cowboys will be better, if healthy. That's a big if. But if Dak Prescott's healthy and he is able to stay on the field, I think the Cowboys can actually be better than the Commanders are next season. I don't think that's great. No, I don't. I don't think it's going to be a monster separation. Maybe one team has 11 wins and one team has 9. I think it could be something like that. One team's 9-8, one team's 11-6, and then the Birds are doing what they. Maybe the Birds have 13, 12 wins, but that still wins the division.
That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that these teams are going to beat the Eagles. I'm just saying that I think both the Cowboys and Commanders are going to be competitive teams. Like, I'm not saying that they're going to win the division by any means.
No, I think you know what you're getting with the Cowboys. I think when Dak is healthy, you're getting a consistent 11, 12-game winner. Now, they will not win a playoff game because Dak can't perform in the playoffs. He's terrible. But I think you get a consistent winner when he's healthy. Yeah. And I think you know what you're going to get.
One thing that might hold them back, though, is just I don't think they are prepared for how much of the nonsense will be with Pickens. He is a good talent, but he is a pain in the rear end to deal with. And if you're already struggling and there's turmoil and you got Micah Parsons and his contract and his podcast that he might say something on, and it could just create a snowball effect of chaos. And if they don't know how to put the fire out, especially with a new head coach who isn't really moving the needle, then it could really snowball out of control super quickly. So there is a potential crack in the foundation with Pickens and his personality.
Well, right. If Pickens is kind of obviously personality-wise, he reminds me of like a Michael Irvin, and you could handle a Michael Irvin in the '90s because you had leaders around him. You don't have that now for Dallas.
Exactly.